Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel. And let's start. This so fits to this reading. I was just, well, let's see how the cards come out, but, you know, I was just seeing a hair on the table and I was wiping it away. Oh, okay. Completion, closing door. Yeah. Let's see what else we get. Dragon sword. Yeah, protecting the future. Oh my god, it's so accurate. Yeah, and the vanishing mirror. And bottom of the deck is the first breath, beginner's mind. Let's keep that. Yes, and some more cards, right? Yeah, the healing card, yeah. Weird banana. There we have you. And yeah. Confusion. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so what I was getting is that you're you are I think holding yourself constantly in front of the closing door, you know, in front of the completion. With this number 5, the number 5 is a symbol for change, right? And when you are constantly looking to heal yourself, maybe, I think, you know, with this is the healing, cleansing, and everything like that card, right? It could be that you are a bit inside of a healing spiral, you know, a healing spiral that feels that it's never complete, you know, because of this here, you know. It seems to me that you're, because of your focus, it's with this card, you know, this figure isn't really focused, right? But I think for you it's more the opposite. It's this, you are almost over focused on healing, to the point, you know, when we always think about ourselves as someone who is in need of healing, right? It can leave us in a state of constantly thinking about that we are not arriving somewhere, right? So it's this, you know, it seems to me that you are looking at this door and constantly thinking that you need to do so much more to be able to complete this phase of healing, right? With this dragon sword protecting the future, it's also this has the same, it's, you know, when you are in the present too focused on healing and protecting the future in a way of, oh, I wish, you know, I need to focus on this, otherwise something bad will happen, you know, thoughts like that. This can leave you in a state of never arriving somewhere and never healing You know, it's when you are too overprotective of your future. You are holding yourself in a bubble like this, right? Like those planets. It's this. What I was getting is this figure is almost in a bubble, and not is too hesitant to go out and live because of thoughts that are within the self-observation and healing bubble, right? So when you are always looking at yourself as someone who needs to improve to do some things, right? It prevents you from actually living your life, right? It prevents you. It keeps you in a bubble wrap, right? It's almost like you are originally sealed somewhere in a storage unit, and you are sitting there and waiting for life to happen, because you know in this original seal, right? Wrapped in a bubble wrap, right? So all the bubbles, you know. That's what I was getting. It's also because of this figure, you know, this always looks to me like a you know, when you buy something in a store, right? And it comes in this bubble wrap or just in a perfect package, right? And you put it inside your house, and if you would not, this reminds me of this, you know, this suit, because this suit is always for me a symbol of trying to portray a status of some sorts, right? So when you are in a bubble wrap, in a way, right, you're a bit like this, perfectly sealed into this packaging, and what life really wants you to experience is this vanishing mirror. It's you know, it's this taking risks and not worrying about the bubble wrap, removing this, right? Removing this, and getting to the core of your own self. With, you know, the ego sublimation, it's you know, it's this destroying this mirrored image of yourself, this by going out and living wildly. It's, you know, it's a free fall. It's this losing yourself in the moment of life, and therefore destroying this artificially constructed packaging, right? Because if you remove the packaging, right, this well, you end up being naked, right? And it's about finding the core of yourself, the self that you have been when you have been received, I'd say, by your mother. You know, when you first get thrown into this world, you are full of love, and you are not wounded by life, by every life experience, right? And it seems to me, because you have been wounded so much, that you ended up putting yourself into this bubble wrap, right? To this bubble wrap of protecting the future, because when you have been through a lot of trauma, and a lot of healers do, it leaves you in, not just healers, I think, as a sky being, I would say, with the planets, as someone from a different dimension, as a light being, right? When you get thrown into this world, on planet Earth, right? It's a trauma itself already, but the experiences and the emotions that we live here, they are traumatizing us to the point where we are too hesitant to live like a child anymore, because of the programming of all those bad experiences, right? And this reading is supposed to shine a light on that for you, because I think you have that you are a weird banana, right? And that's a compliment, right? It's just that by constantly licking your wounds, you are causing yourself to be wounded again, right? Because I don't know if you have experienced that, if someone pets you too long on one spot, right? It create, at some point it can create a pain, and it's the same with when someone is laying in bed for a long time, and it can also create wounds, right? And that's what I was getting with this, that you are so wounded, that you've been so traumatized by everything, that you have put yourself away in a storage unit, and this is causing you a big wound. I think, it can manifest in coping mechanisms, right? And in depression, and in anxiety. And it's harder, the longer you stay in this bubble wrap, then spiders come, right? And they put their webs on you. And, and maybe yourself, maybe you are putting more bubble wrap on yourself the longer you stay there, right? This can also lead to accumulating a lot of stuff, physical stuff, buying things, and almost when you are in a castle, right? With this, right? When you're in a beautiful castle, and you put yourself, you surround yourself with beautiful items that are calming to you, right? Because they give you a sense of stability, right? And then you accumulate even more, right? And it builds up, and the real truth is, that if you let everything like this go, everything, the status, everything you've identified with so far, because we identified ourselves with stuff, right? This, just the thought process of going there, just imagine you would give away all your stuff, everything, and just put a few very special selected items somewhere where they are safe, right? Just the really the most precious items, memories, pictures, those things, right? And you would put them somewhere where they will be safe, right? And then you go out into the world with just a backpack. And this feeling, right? Of getting lost on this planet, right? On this planet like this. You know, free from everything, free from every protection. It's in this castle, you know, when you are surrounded by all your things, you end up also protecting those things, but by just as a mental exercise, getting rid of all of this and rediscovering maybe your hippie self. You know, I cannot else describe it. It's this your free self. You would most likely get back something that I think you have lost along the way by protecting yourself, by overprotecting and over healing or over yeah, you know, I think I've described it all right. I think you know what I mean by what I meant with this healing aspect, right? This because when you are always focusing on what is wrong with you, right, then you cannot, and also protecting yourself from everything, you will always just stand in front of this magical door that wants to be opened by you, you know, even though it says closing door. For me, it's always been an opening door, you know, just because the light is shining there, and it causes a lot of change, right? But what you really want to do is to embrace your free spirit, because that's what you are. You know, when you leave this planet, you cannot take anything with you anyways. So it's a false sense of stability if you are overprotecting yourself and putting yourself away. And the only most problematic thing about it is that it feels like you are destroying things, and you are in fact destroying things by losing the things you have accumulated, even if it's just a mental exercise for you to think about this. But if you would possess nothing, you know, from a naked man you cannot really take anything except for his life, right? But that's something that you could take from a man in a suit as well, right? So this might give you more stability than trying to protect a false sense of stability, because it's not the true sense of stability. And what you're missing is adventure, and with this first breath, beginner's mind, that's what I mean, you know. What you're missing is a total loss of yourself, your old self. And it's almost like it's like throwing a stone into the ocean, and even a stone will get formed by life, right? You already have been formed, of course, but I don't think that you've been formed by the ocean so far. You've been formed by wounds, and you want to be formed by the ocean because it leaves a very nice surface, you know. All those polished stones, they come out of the ocean, right? And they are soft again and not hard, you know. And if you look at the numbers, they mirror each other, right? So you can see it I would say more like this. Because when we start life, we take our first breath, right? And then the wounds happen, and we start protecting the future to a point where we get so scared of life that we don't even know what we are protecting anymore. If you really think about it, what are you protecting, right? What are you protecting? Memories? Are you protecting your wounds? Because a lot of, even beautiful memories, when you look back at them, they hurt, don't they? Because they are not there anymore. At least that's what I have experienced when I look back. When I look back, I just feel the sadness of the past that has been lived, but not to the fullest. And by trying to protect this, you are also keeping the wounds active. But when you lose it, right? And go again like this. So this is then in the past, right? And start over again. Naked and vulnerable and formable, right? And not too much in the ways of being. In the old ways, stuck in this wound cycle, in this wound observation, wound reliving, just in a cycle of pain being stored away in a bubble wrap to prevent more pain, which causes, in fact, more pain, right? You actually get born again, right? And that's what you want. It's just, the only thing is getting there. Feels like death a bit, because you are losing everything you thought you were, but you are also gaining everything you always have been. That's beautiful. Yeah, this also almost looks like a wound, right? Sometimes when we get wounded so much, we lose the will to fight back, right? We just surrender and don't say anything anymore, because we know when we open our minds and mouths and speak up and say what is on our minds, there are forces out there that keep you wounded again, right? They put more wounds on you and they just and when you've experienced that often, you end up being silent because you don't feel that there's a need anymore to speak up, because it doesn't feel like it makes sense anymore, right? Yeah. And nonetheless, I think it's a beautiful reading with a lot of potential. And it doesn't matter how long you've been wounded, you can always break out of this by risking something that makes your heart grow faster or beat faster. Grow faster, that's interesting. Oh yeah, there's some truth to it, actually. If you think about it, your heart, I think when your heart beats faster and you're getting nervous and you're doing something crazy and you are willing to lose everything to gain everything, yeah, that's the spirit of adventure that is inside of you, I think. And you know, it's inside of everyone. We come here, and as kids, right, we are just interested in this place, but then this place wounds us, and we silence ourselves based on everything we've experienced. And when we break out of this, it turns the light on, right? And it heals us. That's the true healing in this, right? From this to weird banana, and also to accept that you are a weird banana. Yeah, you know, because we often just silence ourselves. Yeah, because of all this. I hope that is helpful. Let's see if we have got a Moonology card to wrap it all up. Nothing will come of this situation. This means there's nothing to worry about. Right? Because if you that's the wound worry cycle, and by trusting the universe, or that you can just go out and nothing bad will happen, you will experience magic again. So this reading just wants you to encourage you to do something unusual, something that you can go to the very extreme and give away everything and just, you know, be a total hippie and live from a backpack and explore the world. You could do that. You could. You actually could. There's nothing that's holding you back from this, except for yourself. So you could do that. If not that, maybe something in a smaller scale that makes you feel like this. You know, that gives you the adventure back. And bottom of the deck is expect powerful change. Well, you know, of course, if you do something like that, you know, and there's the magic. Look at that. Yeah, so let's see what this reading is for. Beautiful. A beautiful reading. Okay. Libra. Okay. Yeah, so I hope this reading was helpful. Additional info is in the letter box below, and see you next time. Bye bye.